Alright everyone, now it's time for a very funny story. Link in the description, archived of course. New York City tried to set up an AI-run chatbot to advise local businesses about the law with regards to regulations and things like trash removal and everything else under the sun. And unfortunately it has a 10% fail rate, and some of those fails literally involved advising businesses to break the law. Like, for example, claiming that businesses were exempt from their from certain trash-related regulations. Oh yeah, it's perfectly fine if your business just uses black bags and tosses them out in the dumpster. That's perfectly fine. Well, no, it isn't actually in New York City. You're not supposed to do that if you're a business. But the chatbot told them that it was okay. And so businesses were relying upon this tool that was built by New York City specifically for that purpose. So, you know, it makes sense on the surface because if businesses are capable of consulting with a chatbot, you don't need a real person there. And so for 90% of all the problems that they may have to call up about, they can just use the chatbot. It's cheaper, it's easier, it takes stress off of the actual people that have to talk to them on the phone. If they have that question that the chatbot can't answer or something like that, then they have to do that, but otherwise it clears up the phone lines. It makes things a lot more efficient and easy. But the chatbot needs to actually be reliably capable of giving proper intel on what you can and cannot do. New York City and New York State at large are very, very regulatorily heavy. There is a lot of, New York City especially, a huge number of business regulations, municipal ordinances and codes and things like that. The problem is they're not taking the chatbot down. They're keeping it there, even though it's got a 10% fail rate or thereabouts. They've decided, we already built it, and it's good enough. If only 10% of the businesses are going to be advised to literally break the law when they use the chatbot. By the way, interesting legal scuttlebutt here. If I run a business in New York City and I consult with an officially administered AI chatbot, which is being relied upon to tell me what I can and cannot do as a business. So how to remove trash, emission standards, or anything else under the sun. What do I owe in taxes? And it misleads me, and I break the law because the New York City's own officially administered AI chatbot decided to tell me the wrong thing. Am I still legally liable because the city itself set up the chatbot? They say, well, this is the reliable portal for all of your updates about what you can and cannot do. You can just talk to this computer and it'll tell you what your business is or is not allowed to do, how to do things, etc. Here's our food safety standards. Here's our regulation on the size of cardboard boxes. Here's how you can and cannot remove your trash, etc., on down the line. If I then break the law, but I had no reasonable way to know that I was breaking the law, and New York City itself incepted the AI chatbot, am I still legally liable? I mean, in New York, apparently you can be liable for literally doing nothing. Just look at Donald Trump in the case with Letitia James and Judge Engoron, the Imperial Stormtrooper. There's some persecution and differential enforcement there, but I would think that would be a legal defense. Well, Your Honor, I used the literal sanctioned city chatbot, and it told me that I was allowed to burn trash in the alleyway. I had no way to know that that was wrong. The city itself funded the creation of this AI system, and it misled me. I wouldn't have burned the trash if I had known that it was illegal to do so, Your Honor, but the chatbot told me it was okay. I would think that this is going to cause a little bit of a legal issue, actually, at some point. They should take it down. But apparently they're not intent on doing so. They're going to keep it up and just bootstrap it in some way. They'll try to fix the error rate, of course, but it's still up there. It's still being used by businesses right now and people in New York City. Yeah, I have a jewelry store. Is there a cap on the size of diamonds that I can sell? Or is there a license for, rubies or something like that? And then it tells me no, and then I find out the answer is actually yes. I would think that would be a legal defense. Ignorance is no excuse in the face of the law, but if you are deliberately misled by something that is state-sanctioned, if you cannot rely upon that information, lawyers are going to have a field day with this. Business lawyers especially. Oh man, they're going to be McLovin' it. They're going to get an uptick in cases when the gendarme comes and says, well, you're throwing out your trash improperly, and you say, well, Look at this screenshot. The chatbot told me it was okay. What? What are you talking about? Then the NYPD goes in and looks at your computer and says, oh, shit. Well, that's a little bit weird. And then they have to call up the mayor or something. They have poor Eric Adams, and he's going to get some calls from them as well. Hey, Mr. Mayor, there's a tenant here who's burning trash in the alley, and I told him it was illegal. But then they showed me that actually your own AI chatbot told him it was okay, and so I don't exactly know what to do in the situation. Should I issue a ticket? Should I just ignore it because you don't want this legal case probably going forward? Hush hush, wink wink, nudge nudge. Oh man, this is great. New York City, totally fucked up. Leave it to government, by the way, to fuck something up this bad. Otherwise, you have to leave it to Google with their their Gemini AI system, which denies the existence of white people, among other things. AI has really already gone off the rails, but government is going to make sure that it's worse. Private companies, like with Grok or GPT and stuff like that, they do a little bit better. Like, probably New York City should have contracted Elon Musk to develop like an AI chatbot or something. It'd probably work better. And clearly their system currently is having a little bit of a malfunction. They're not even going to fix it right away. So you're advising businesses, but you're advising them wrong. You're telling them to... The chatbot literally told them to break the law in some of these cases. I'm going to open this up and read a little bit of this verbatim because it's just so crazy. Like when I first saw it, I chuckled, and then I read further into the article. I'm like, what the hell is going on? New York. An artificial intelligence-powered chatbot created for New York City to help small business owners is under criticism for dispensing bizarre advice that misstates local policies and advises companies to violate the law. Launched in October as a one-stop shop for business owners, the chatbot offers algorithmically generated text responses to questions about navigating the city's bureaucratic maze. By the way, when you have that many regulations and bureaus and stuff, don't you think maybe instead of developing an AI chatbot, you should throttle back the regulations? Maybe you've hyper-regulated a little bit too much. It includes a disclaimer that it may occasionally produce incorrect, harmful, or biased information, and the caveat, since strengthened, that its answers are not legal advice. Oh, so now, because of the threat of legal cases, because of this chatbot, they've changed that. It continues to dole out false guidance, troubling experts who say the buggy system highlights the dangers of governments embracing AI-powered systems without sufficient guardrails. I disagree. You don't need guardrails. What you need is a properly built AI system. That's all you need. They're rolling out software that is unproven without oversight, said Julia Stoyanovich, a computer science professor and director of the Center for Responsible AI at New York University. It's clear they have no intention of doing what's responsible. In responses to questions posed Wednesday, the chatbot falsely suggested it is legal for an employer to fire a worker who complains about sexual harassment, doesn't disclose a pregnancy, or refuses to cut their dreadlocks. Contradicting two of the city's signature waste initiatives, it claimed that businesses can put their trash in black garbage bags and are not required to compost. At times, the bot's answers veered into the absurd. Oh, it gets better and better. It's the greatest article. You've got to read this. Asked if a restaurant could serve cheese nibbled on by a rodent. It responded, yes, you can still serve the cheese to customers if it has rat bites, before adding that it was important to assess the extent of the damage caused by the rat and to inform customers about the situation. That's going to go over really, really well. A spokesperson for Microshaft really, which powers the bot through its Azure AI services, said the company was working with city employees to improve the service and ensure the outputs are accurate and grounded on the city's official documentation. Can't you just feed it all into the system and have like a closed-off AI chatbot or something? Apparently not. Apparently it's got to be a globalist chatbot. So yes, in New York City, it's okay apparently if rodents nibble on the cheese. Just cut that part off and you can shred the rest onto the pizza or something. I'm sure that every pizza owner in Brooklyn is chuckling at this particular prospect, by the way. Apparently, the father of the Brooklyn-style pizza claimed that he would always smoke when he was making the pizzas and shit like that, and said that it didn't taste the same if it didn't have a little cigarette ash in it or something along those lines. Health standards were a little bit different back then than they are today, and probably it was tastier, just saying. But I don't really want rat pizza, and now when I go to New York City, I guess I have to tour the cheese facility myself before I get that fucking that pizza pie. This is off the chain. One of the funniest things that I've ever read. Rivals the Chaz Garden. Go through that article yourself. I mean, there's other crazy shit in there as well. It's great. It's just, thank you for starting off my morning with a little bit of humor, New York City. I gotta visit sometime because apparently everything there is hilarious. That's about all. Peace out.